I would like now to introduce Lison Leonetti, OneAtlas Data Product Marketing Manager, and Joanna Emery, OneAtlas Analytic Product Marketing Manager. So now let's get started.
Thank you, Anaëlle. Hi, everyone. My name is Lison Leonetti, and I will start this presentation. So in our ever-changing world, having updated and accurate maps is a real challenge. As we will see in this video from the United States Army, back in the 70s, the map-making process was complex and time-consuming. As you can see right in front of you, people needed to go on the ground to take precise measures, very precise measures, accurate annotation, and then they needed to also retrieve it on paper maps. So this was the map making process back then. And then the maps were printed out, making then any modification pretty complex. So yes, for a long time, the map making process has been difficult and time consuming. What about nowadays? Nowadays, digitalization helped to streamline the map making process, but still having updated and accurate map is a real challenge. Why is that so? Because our world is still changing very fast. So let's start this webinar with a poll question.
Thank you, Lison. So I will launch the first question. In order to vote, please choose an answer and click on send. We will leave you a few seconds to answer this poll. Thank you for your participation. Just a few seconds. Thank you. And we will share the results. Here we go.
Okay, thank you, Anaëlle. So here I see quite some equal answers. So people answered equally to getting access to imagery, spending time identifying changes. More people are struggling with getting access to accurate analytics. This is really good because it will be a big part of this webinar. And testing a service before buying it, not that much. Okay, very interesting. So let's move forward and hopefully our presentation will help you to solve some of these issues. So now we are going to discover how Airbus portfolio is at the forefront of new Earth observation mapping technologies. Here we deliver off-the-shelf products covering the geospatial mapping value chain, right from satellite imagery, let's say our number one pillar, but also with imagery processing to produce ortho, mosaic, but as well as off-the-shelf products such as 2D layers, the number 3, like the base map, 3D layers, number 4, with them and 3D textured models, and then getting out from the data value chain and going into the analytics with fully and semi-automated mapping extraction, and lastly, thematic maps for specific projects. Here at Airbus, we really are committed to deliver the entire value chain, and we will see today how we do so. So now let's focus on OneAtlas data and analytics capabilities. So what is OneAtlas data in the first place? It's a unique platform to access all our data products. From imagery to value-added layers to analytics, we provide you with all the data you need for mapping. So as you can see right here, OneAtlas data is focusing on 3 big pillars: imagery with archive and tasking, layers with 2D and 3D products, and analytics with automatic detection and extraction. So we are now going to focus on each capabilities, starting with imagery, archive, and tasking. In front of you, you have a snapshot of the contents available on OneAtlas Data. This is what we call the living library. It's an immediate selection of premium imagery that has been curated by Airbus. In this selection of imagery, you will find only minimal cloud cover and incidence angle. In the snapshot, you can see that blue segments are Pléiades with 50 centimeter resolution, and pink segments are the spot segments with 1.5 meter resolution. This is our living library. But we have also our entire archive on the platform, what we call extended archive. So you can see that the snapshot of this content is much more dense. The reason is that we don't curate this selection of imagery. You can really find every acquisition from the Captors launch back in 2012. If you don't find content that is answering to your needs, you can also task the satellite, take the command of the satellite to collect a new image at the time and area of your choice. But of course, we proactively acquire new imagery every day, everywhere in the world. To give you an idea, we acquire thousands of new images that are ingested in OneAtlas data every day. So now let's move on to layers with the base map. The base map is a curated layer of premium imagery that is refreshed every year all around the globe. The actual average pixel age of this base map is less than 8 months. So we really commit on a fresh product, a real representation of the Earth that is accurate with sharp coverage and an aesthetic rendering. Of course, we commit also on a very low cloud cover, almost 0 over main urban areas and less than 5% globally. We also provide you with 3D layers with WordM, which is a global and worldwide digital elevation model accessible in streaming that you can use for 3D analytics or for author rectification. And then the last pillar of our 3D offerings in OneAtlas Data are 3D textured models. We provide you with available off-the-shelf cities in 3D textured models. Here you have an overview of Sydney, but we also provide you with cities such as Seville, Dubai, Santiago, San Francisco, and so on. And new 3D textured model can be produced on demand. So now I'm going to leave the floor to my colleague Joanna for the analytics capabilities.
Hi, everyone. So I'm going to present an overview of the analytics capabilities that are relevant for your mapping applications. So first, we're going to begin with the infrastructure change detection analytic. So this highlights change in constructions, roads, and earthquakes, as well as other potential man-made changes. So quite simply, we pick up relevant change that's identified between 2 different images, which have been chosen by you. So this product comes with an optional human quality finishing service to ensure that you have the highest level of accuracy. Next, it's the OneAtlas High Accuracy Map Extraction product. Now, this is the latest addition to the analytics portfolio, and it gives our customers access to over 10 classes of land use. So this includes man-made classes as well as natural classes. It's a semi-automated product with a guaranteed SLA of 95% accuracy. So it makes it perfect for your mapping applications that require the highest precision and quality. As well, with the high accuracy map extraction product, you can choose as a sub-project different classes. So this could be, for example, building footprints and roads. So this semi-automated feature extraction product is produced from our freshest Airbus imagery. We're now going to go to the poll question number 2 and have an overview of our products.
Thank you, Joanna. I take the opportunity to remind you that you can ask your question at any time in the question panel. So we'll launch the second question and I'll let you a few seconds to answer. Thank you for your participation. Thank you. We'll let you a few seconds more. So we will share the results. Thank you for your participation. And Joanna, I'll let you comment.
So we can see here in terms of results, so with the largest percent, 48%, you've chosen analytics. Second, 26% for imagery, 12% then for global layers, 9% for 3D models and other. Some interesting results there for our analytics capabilities. Okay, so moving on. How can you access our solutions? So you want quick and easy access to OneAtlas, and we've put together different services to meet these needs. So first, you can access services via streaming to stream our data directly into your applications. Secondly, through downloads, leaving you free to manage freely what you want to do with your product. And lastly, you can access our data and solutions through a number of different formats, which you can choose as you purchase a product. So in terms of APIs, we have a range of different APIs which are available for you. So the first is the search tool, enabling access to imagery and layers based on search parameters. We also have the View API, which gives you access to imagery and layers in a format optimized for visualization and screen display. For the Pixel for Analytics, you get access to imagery and layers at a pixel level. And this is a streaming API which has been designed by Airbus to give you access to OneAtlas archive imagery and to access imagery in a format optimized for your analysis. The fourth that we have is to download a processed image or layer from the cloud, so direct to the customer storage solution. The fifth is a tasking API to submit a satellite tasking request and to get an image over an area of interest. So this is soon going to be made available in the platform. And finally, for the Analytics Toolbox API, it gives you access to a set of analytics from our partners, so including change detection, object detection, and land use. And so finally here, you also have access to an SDK, which is great for those of you that want to develop your own mobile apps, as you can access imagery anywhere with any device. So we also have a range of GIS plugins available. So first for Esri with the ArcMap plugin and the QGIS plugin as well. Okay, so now we're going to look at the use case section of this presentation. So first and foremost, let's take a look at the types of use cases that we have. So location-based services, land administration, for industrial, agriculture, emergency. We really can, with our mapping solutions, provide services for a range of use cases. So whether it's real estate, aeronautical, military, forestry, business intelligence, and much more. So the first use case that we want to take a look at is going to be for land administration. So for this, first and foremost, we use fresh OneAtlas data for our infrastructure, fresh OneAtlas data to run our infrastructure change detection. And with this, you can pinpoint change and identify where it was most relevant to update your maps. So we can detect change with regards to buildings, roads, and earthquakes over the selected area of interest. So here we can see it's for Riyadh in Saudi Arabia. Next step, once you've detected that change, you can follow up with our OneAtlas high accuracy map extraction to produce detailed classes of land use over these specific areas. So you can do this with our freshest, highest resolution imagery. So what's great about this is local authorities can really feel confident about quickly procuring ready-to-use, accurate GIS vector products of land use classes. And so you can really turn your attention to extracting added value analysis for this up-to-date data. The second use case that we have is for creating maps for agriculture. So here with this specific need, you want to get access to the right information at the right time. So for this, OneAtlas can provide access to data, analytics, and thematic services to get efficient mapping information for agriculture. So whether it's specific to the geographical zones worldwide and the specific seasons. So using OneAtlas, you start by mapping infrastructure and resources over your area of interest. So this can be to identify roads, buildings, and vegetation, and to delimitate urban areas, for example. And next, you can use the OneAtlas Verde service to access crop analytics derived from fresh imagery, so taken at the right point of time during the growth cycle. And this allows you to map crops with a good level of accuracy. So available classes include agricultural crops, seasonal crops, and vegetation. And finally, then, for the emergency use case. So how can we rapidly map wildfire and the impacted infrastructure? Well, whether it's natural or man-made disasters, environments are rapidly changing and they're really vulnerable to risk. So in the aftermath of a disaster, you need up-to-date information, but that's often hard to come by. So we can proactively task imagery in zones where emergency happens. So directly from OneAtlas, you can stream high-resolution imagery into your GIS tool to model and analyze the impact of natural disaster as they happen. So high accuracy map extraction here shows building footprints over Talent, Oregon in the US. And afterwards here, what we can see are the buildings that remain after the wildfires. So these are the types of service and products that we can provide. Reach out to us to rapidly map natural disaster, potentially impacted infrastructure when you need it most. So we're going to hand over.
Thank you, Joanna. So we will launch the third and last poll question. So again, we'll let you a few seconds to answer. So what are the mapping use cases that interested you most? Thank you. So we'll let you a few seconds to answer as everyone can participate. And we will share the results in a few seconds. Okay, so I share the results and I'll let you comment, Joanna.
Okay, so looking at the results, 42% for extracting specific features for added value analysis, 27 for rapid mapping in an emergency, 27 also for monitoring change, and just 3% for map renewal. Okay, thanks for those inputs. I'm going to hand over.
Excellent, thank you. Okay, so now we are going to wrap up the presentation with a demonstration of capabilities applied to a real-life example. So here we are going to use ArcGIS Pro, so a very well-known GIS tool. And we are going to use a scenario of 5G's antennas installation. This is a fictive example, so we did a fictive scenario, but we used a real-life problem. So let's start by accessing the data. So we had part of our presentation on the access to the data. So here we are on the OneAtlas Data Platform. We are going to zoom over Rayong in Thailand, which is the area of our project. So we are going to draw an area of interest with the AOI manager and select the living library. As a reminder, the living library is our archive offering. We are going to filter the parameters to access the product that we need. So the project for the land use extraction dated back in 2018, November. So we are going to stream the image and copy the streaming link. So this is how we can then access to the image in ArcGIS Pro. Since I've seen in the QGIS, in the GIS plugins part, we have ArcMap and QGIS. And in this example, we are going to work in ArcGIS Pro. So here I'm going to delete the area of interest and then retrieve my land use report over Rayong that I can access in my data panel, my analytics. I can filter the kind of algorithm. And here I retrieve my Rayong sample. So we can zoom to target, stream the report on map or download it. And here, of course, for the purpose of the demonstration, I'm going to download it and upload it in ArcGIS Pro. So let's have a look at the actual product in ArcGIS. So here we are streaming over, zooming over the land use report. You can see all the different classes. And we can also stream the satellite imagery layer that we just extracted from OneAtlas. As you can see here, it's actually extracted from OneAtlas data. So here we are underlying the streaming of the image under the land use report. To have a better overview, we are going to filter the land use report classes and only display the grass. Okay, let's add it and display it. So here you can see on top of the satellite imagery only the grass land use. We can do the same with the buildings. So now we are going to edit the properties to only showcase the buildings on the map. So this allows to compare easily the vector extraction with the actual satellite imagery. So this will enable you to verify the quality and precision of the product and possibly adjust some vectors if needed. Okay, so now we are going to switch back to the entire land use report. Okay, so here it is. We are going to zoom out to have the global overview, pan over the image. And now we are going to display the 5G antennas location. So there are pinpoints that you probably don't see right now because it's a bit mixed with the land use report. So when I remove the satellite imagery, you can see better the pinpoints for the 5G's location, and in 3D, you can completely see it. Okay. So now I'm going to display the line of sights so that you can see which antennas are communicating with each other. So as a reminder for this use case, what we are going to see is how the antennas communicate with each other. So here we have a 2D vision, which is super accurate thanks to the satellite imagery and land use reports, but we miss a final dimension, which is 3D. So we need now the heights of the building of the city to see if they block or not the 5G antennas communication. So let's have a look. So now we switch to 3D vision, and we entered in ArcGIS Pro the heights of all the buildings of Rayong cities to see if it's blocking the line of sight. So we see that the high building in front of this antenna is blocking communication with the two at the back of the map. So we're going to edit the properties and add a view shed. So a view shed allows you to see what is visible or not by an object on the map. So we are going to adjust the parameters, view shed angles, and distance to simulate a 5G antenna reach. So pink areas are not visible and green areas are visible. So here I adjust the heading and I direct it towards the two antennas at the back of the map. And as you can see right here, the two antennas at the back are not visible by the first antenna because the building is too high. As a precision, we used chimneys, a 3D object with 100-meter height to simulate the 5G antennas on the map. So they are not at ground height, but at 100-meter height. So then we can adjust the heading to see the overall visibility around the spot. And then using this scenario, the other antennas would follow the same analysis. So taking each antennas to see the reach with one each other. So this scenario is showing that we can easily use fresh satellite imagery, land use extraction, and GIS to work in a 3D environment to simulate 5G antennas installation. As mentioned, it's a fictive example, but it allows to demonstrating capabilities and can be applied to many different use cases. It can be for electric utilities, land administration, construction work. Actually, it's very dynamic and can be applied to a wide range of additional use cases. So now, what are the key benefits of OneAtlas Platform capabilities for mapping? First, we have a one-stop shop covering the entire value chain. As you've seen right from the beginning, whether you need satellite imagery, analytics, or even like specific thematic maps for your projects, we will serve you. You can also save costs thanks to the digital access. As we've seen, the access in streaming to satellite imagery is enough to extract vectors and update maps or providing new layers of information. So this allows you to save cost and time as well, because the access is super quick. You can also save time thanks to the analytics, because it will provide you with the first basis for work and will allow you to focus only on added value. So as we've seen in our example, we could spend time and focus mainly on the analysis of the 5G antenna spot, which were our main goal, let's say, rather than spending time in accessing the data and the land use and displaying vectors and so on. And lastly, it provides you with a seamless experience and integration with GIS plugins. So as you've seen in this demo, we didn't use a plugin because we don't have yet the ArcGIS Pro plugin, but it's in our roadmap. But we used direct connection thanks to APIs, and this worked pretty well as well. So that's not all. We have also exciting new evolution to the platforms that are coming up with the access to Pléiades Neo imagery. So 30-centimeter imagery in our platform that will allow to do exactly everything that we've seen in this presentation, but with a more accurate precision and resolution. So it will be super helpful for precision mapping. And as well, Sentinel data to provide a low and medium resolution to the platform. In the next days, you will receive an onboarding email, of course, first with the recording of this webinar so that you can rewatch it or share it if you liked it, but also the access to a free trial so that you can try the products and capabilities, technical documentation to get all the details, and customer support if you want to get started with us. Thank you very much. It was a big pleasure to present this webinar. Now we are going to move on with Q&A, but if you wish to send questions directly to us through email, please go ahead. So lison.leonetti@airbus.com if you have questions on data, mainly imagery and layers, and Joanna Emery, so joanna.emery@airbus.com if you have specific questions for analytics. You can as well sign up for a free trial straight away by going on oneatlas.airbus.com.
Thank you, Lison. So yes, we're gonna to answering the questions submitted. So you can still ask a question. So feel free. So the first question is from Michael. So is pricing based on square kilometers for data and analytics?
Thank you, Anaël. So I'll take this one. So yes, we provide square kilometer pricing, both for data and analytics. But we have also an additional pricing model for data, mainly imagery, archive, which is in gigabyte, a usage-based subscription when you can consume as you go.
Thank you, Lison. So second question of Nathaniel. What are the land use classes your analytic can classify? Can it differ various vegetation cover, for example, different crop cover?
For the high accuracy map extraction, we have different man-made classes. So that includes buildings, roads, parking lots, pavements, driveways, swimming pools, and sports fields. So quite a wide range of classes there for the man-made. And for natural classes with the high accuracy map extraction, we have access to water, grass, forest, and bare land. If you have different needs with regards to agriculture regarding Verde, please just reach out to us for that specific need.
Thank you, Joanna. So second question of Nathaniel. Aside from ArcMap and QGIS, what are other software you plug in is compatible?
Hi there. So I think you got the answer just after during the presentation. So far, only ArcMap and QGIS plugins are available, as mentioned, but we have an ambitious roadmap. We plan on delivering the ArcGIS Pro plugin in the coming months, but you can plug in already straight away just using the API connection. We have specific tutorials to guide you step by step. They are on our YouTube playlist. You will receive the link in the onboarding email. So it explains you just in a few minutes how to copy the WMTS connection, for example, if it's for imagery, and paste it directly in your GIS tool. So hopefully this answers to your questions.
So thank you, Lison. Next question from Mariano. So does the land classification follow the CLC outline, and is the land used on the fly? So I repeat, so does the land classification follow the CLC outline, and is the land used on the fly?
Hi there. So again, with regards to high accuracy map extraction, it's a semi-automated process. So for that, we have a human in the loop to do a quality check. So that's something that in terms of time, we can establish for your specific projects and needs.
Thank you, Joanna. So next question from Lindsay. Does OneAtlas work with ArcGIS 10.x?
Hi, Lindsay. The answer is yes, it's correct. So you can start using it straight away with our free trial if you want to have a try.
So thank you. So next question from Chen. How do you compute the height of the building from the demo?
So we can compute the height of the building with a DEM or the 3D models or LiDAR data as well. There are also some other ways of extracting the heights of the building. And here in this example, we use the 3D model.
Very nice. Thank you, Lison. Next question from Anne. Which satellite are you using?
So in OneAtlas data, we use Pléiades and Spot satellites. Pléiades is an optical sensor with 50 centimeter resolution, and Spot is a sensor with 1.5 meter resolution. So there's two of each, 2 Pléiades and 2 Spots. So a constellation of 4 satellites. And as mentioned, in the next months, we will also integrate additional sensors.
So thank you, Lison. A question from Elena. What's the delivery timescale for a land use classification?
Okay, so first and foremost, it's something that you would access via our portal. So you'd submit a request for the area of interest and the land use that you want. So you have 5 days to establish the quotation, and then from there, depending on the size of area of interest, we put in place a timescale for your project.
Okay, thank you. So next question from Kevin. So what data and analytics services come with the free trial?
So you will receive the onboarding email explaining you what goes with the free trial. So in terms of data, we provide you with an access to the layers, so the base map, limited to a 10-meter resolution, to word and streaming, same, limited to a certain level of resolution. Then we provide you access to imagery, so you can select cities in the words that are predefined, and you can have access to a streaming consumption over there. And for analytics, you can access to a range of analytics reports to try out the accuracy.
Okay, thank you. So a second question from Lindsay. Thank you, Lindsay. So can a seamless imagery mosaic can be downloaded for the AOI?
Hi, Lindsay. Yes, of course. We can deliver a seamless imagery mosaic for any AOI. So far, it's in project mode, but we are trying to industrialize it on the platform. So pretty soon, you will be able to do it by yourself directly on the platform and get your mosaic delivered in your workspace.
Okay, you still can send questions, so feel free to add it. So next question from Mark. So what is the pricing structure for data and analytics?
Okay. So if you go onto our website, oneatlas.airbus.com, you can have access to the subscriptions. They're actually public. So you can see that we provide you with different volume of data. So for Living Library, you can access to gigabyte subscriptions, and it's the same rationale for analytics. You have different level of consumption based on your need of volume. So you can just go on the OneAtlas portal and check out the subscription to get all the information. And you can also contact our customer support if you need more details or a specific price information for products. So as a reminder, this will be sent over to you by the onboarding email. So yeah, don't hesitate to reach out to us when you receive it.
Okay, so thank you. I think so we don't have a question anymore. So thank you, Lison, thank you, Joanna, and everyone for attending today's webinar on new OneAtlas capabilities for mapping. If you have any other question about these new services, please contact Lison or Joanna. Please notice that this webinar will also be available in a few days on the partner portal, so you will be able to find the recording of this webinar. So on behalf of Airbus Defence in Space and our presenter, thank you for joining us today and enjoy your rest of the day. Bye.